It was a freezing winter night in a small suburban town. Snow fell lightly, blanketing the streets in silence. The warm glow of a McDonald sign stood out against the cold darkness, inviting the few late-night stragglers in for a meal. Inside, the restaurant was quiet, with only a few customers scattered among the booths. Jordan, a 23-year-old cashier, stood behind the counter, wiping it down with a damp cloth. He wore a tired but friendly smile, his natural optimism shining through despite the long hours he worked. For Jordan, life was a constant grind, 2 jobs, long shifts, and big dreams of becoming an engineer someday. But tonight, like every night, he greeted each customer with warmth and kindness, as if their meal was the most important part of his day. At around 9:45 p.m., just before closing, the door swung open, and a boy stepped inside. He looked about 14 years old, wearing a hoodie pulled low over his face. His sneakers were dusted with snow, and his hands were shoved deep into his pockets. He glanced around nervously before approaching the counter. Jordan, ever cheerful, greeted him. "Hey there. Welcome to McDonald's. What can I get for you tonight?" The boy hesitated, his voice barely above a whisper. Just a cheeseburger and fries." Jordan rang up the order. "That'll be $4.75, he said with a smile. The boy reached into his pockets, fumbling, then froze. His face turned pale as he looked up, embarrassed. I think I lost my wallet," he stammered, his voice trembling. Jordan didn't even pause. "Don't worry about it," he said with a grin. "What do you want?" "It's on me." The boy's eyes widened in surprise. "Really?" "Yeah, really," Jordan replied. "Everyone has those days." The boy nodded, murmured a quiet "thank you," and took his tray to a corner booth. Jordan watched him out of the corner of his eye. The boy ate slowly, staring out the window as if lost in thought. When he finished, he stood up and walked toward the door. But just before leaving, he paused and turned back. "I'll make this up to you someday," he said softly. Jordan smiled and replied, "Just pay it forward." The next evening, Jordan was back at work. The dinner rush had come and gone, and the restaurant had settled into its usual quiet hum. He was in the middle of wiping down the tables when the door opened again. To his surprise, it was the same boy, but this time, he wasn't alone. 2 large men in suits walked in behind him, their presence commanding attention. The boy approached the counter, looking slightly nervous. One of the men spoke first. "Are you Jordan?" Jordan nodded cautiously. "Yeah, that's me." The man gestured toward the boy. "You met Barron last night. He wanted to come back and thank you personally." Jordan blinked, confused. "Barron?" The boy pulled back his hoodie, revealing his face more clearly. "Yeah. I'm Barron. Barron Trump." Jordan froze, his jaw dropping. "Wait, Trump, as in?" Barron nodded, looking a little embarrassed. "Yeah. Sorry for not saying anything last night. I just wanted to feel normal for once." Jordan stammered, "Man, if I'd known who you were." "I don't," Barron interrupted, shaking his head. "You treated me like anyone else. That's why I'm here. To say thank you." In the weeks that followed, Barron returned to the McDonald's regularly. Sometimes, he came alone, slipping away from the watchful eyes of his security detail. Other times, the bodyguards waited outside while Barron sat with Jordan during his breaks. Their conversations started out casual, small talk about the weather or sports, but soon grew deeper. Barron opened up about the pressures of growing up in one of the world's most famous families. "It's not as glamorous as it looks," he admitted one evening. "People either want something from you or hate you because of your last name. It's lonely." Jordan listened, nodding. "That's rough, man. But you're lucky to have opportunities most of us can only dream of." "You think so?" Barron countered. You've got something I don't. Real grit. You're out here working, hustling for your dreams. I don't even know what my dreams are. Jordan shared his own story, growing up in a low-income neighborhood, losing his dad at a young age, and working tirelessly to save for college. Despite their vastly different upbringings, they found common ground in their desire to make something meaningful out of their lives. One snowy evening, Barron showed up with a serious expression. "What's your dream, Jordan?" he asked. Jordan chuckled. "That's easy. I want to be an engineer. Build affordable housing for people who can't afford a decent place to live. But that takes money I don't have." Barron nodded thoughtfully. "You're the most driven person I've ever met. If anyone can make that happen, it's you." A week later, Barron returned with an envelope. He handed it to Jordan, who opened it cautiously. Inside was a letter offering him a full scholarship to a prestigious engineering program. Jordan stared at the letter, stunned. "What is this?" Barron grinned. "My family has a foundation. I pulled some strings. You're going to college." Jordan shook his head, overwhelmed. "I can't accept this. It's too much. Too much." Barron laughed. "Dude, you gave me a cheeseburger for free when I was a nobody to you. You deserve this." Fast forward 5 years. Jordan is now a successful engineer, working on sustainable housing projects that transform entire communities. His designs are celebrated nationally, and his story inspires countless others to pursue their dreams. At the grand opening of his latest project, Jordan steps onto the stage to deliver a speech. Among the crowd is Barron, now 19, who has embraced philanthropy, supporting causes close to his heart. Jordan's voice wavers with emotion as he speaks. "5 years ago, I was just a guy working the night shift at McDonald's. I didn't know that a single act of kindness would bring me here. This isn't just my story. It's proof that no matter where you come from, no matter how small the gesture, kindness has the power to change lives. Barron taught me that. And now, I hope to pass it on." The crowd erupts in applause as Jordan steps off the stage. He and Barron share a hug, their friendship now a symbol of the power of compassion and connection. The story ends with a montage of Jordan's work, Barron's charitable efforts, and the two of them laughing together at a community event. The screen fades to black with the words, "Kindness doesn't cost a thing. But it can change everything."